Hello everybody. In today's video we are going to speak about the monotheistic tradition, Islam within the context of the monotheistic traditions, and in future videos we will discuss also the relationship, the connection between Islam and Judaism, Islam and Christianity, all within the mark of the monotheistic way. And I want to emphasize of the importance of recognizing, and this is clearly explained within Islam, that God has always sent his prophets throughout since the beginning of humanity, starting with Adam, the first man, who was also a prophet. And throughout history, he has sent his prophets, his messengers, to different nations, different people. And there have been many prophets of which we don't know anything. In fact, Islam says there have been more than 120,000, some say 124,000 to be more precise, the number of prophets, and the majority of them we don't know. The Quran only mentions 25 of them. We know many more that of course they come from the Jewish and Christian scriptures. Most of them come from the Jewish Israelite people. But still there have been many more prophets of which we don't know their names. They have been sent to different time epochs and people for a specific purpose, specific reasons, and we, up to the modern time, we know and we usually hear about the three most well-known monotheistic ways: Judaism, Christianity and Islam. But of course there are also other monotheistic religions, even in modern day. We have, for example, Zoroastrians. This is a very old religion that some scholars even say that was even before Judaism. There was Zoroastrian religion appear with Zoroaster as a prophet. We had the Sabaeans. For example, even well before the people of Israel get out of Egypt with the prophet Moses, we have that in Egypt there was a pharaoh, Akhenaton, that he changed the whole Egyptian religion and he rejected all the gods and turned it to the worship of the one God. Some people say he was influenced by Joseph when Joseph was in Egypt, and because of this pharaoh then became monotheistic. But what my point is that before the three well-known monotheistic religions, there have been other revealed monotheistic ways. So many prophets that we don't know, and within certain times we have to understand that God has sent his prophets, his messengers, in different times for specific reasons. Sometimes when people forgot the monotheistic way, the oneness of God, and they went back into polytheism. And because of these, certain reminders, certain messengers were sent to different people in different countries, different cultures, to remind them and to bring them back to the one way, to the worship of the one God. And within this context, we have the revelation of Islam. And Islam clearly admits all that I have just all explained right now regarding the other revelations. And as I said, we will explain in further videos about the relationship of Islam with Judaism, with Christianity and others. And this is significant to have clear and to understand of this monotheistic way, that the three main monotheistic religions, all of them trace their roots back to the father of the faith, the prophet Abraham. Abraham, the father of the Jews, the father of the Arabs, but also the spiritual father of all the believers. That's why he's known as the father of the faith. Jews, Christians, Muslims, everybody who believes in the one God traces its connection back to the prophet Abraham, because his faith was so great that he has become like a model of a pure believer, the one to imitate. But always emphasizing that before and after Abraham there were other prophets of which we don't know. Some of them we know, like the prophet Noah and others. but it is significant that in a time, specifically in Arabia, when the Arabic people had forgotten about the unity of God as a whole, I mean, because there were still some Arabs who were Jews, some Arabs who were Christians, and they knew, but there were the majority of the people, they were following the polytheistic way, and within this context we have the appearance of the Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, with the revelation of Islam not as a new religion, but simply as a reminder, because the Islam is simply the continuation of this monotheistic way that goes back, as I mentioned, connection with Judaism and Christianity, and the same prophets. And Islam came as a reminder, as the Quran says, to the people that have forgotten the correct way, the unicity of God, the unity of God, and to remind people to go back, to leave the polytheistic way and to turn into pure monotheism. And this is fundamental and very important. Some people wonder, well, why is there so many different religions or traditions even within the monotheistic way? Well, Islam also explains that. It's very clear. In the Quran, it clearly states that if God had will, He could have made people all the same way, all same religion, all same culture, all same language, but no. He said clearly, He has created many people, different cultures, different languages, and to each of these people He has sent different prophets, specifically for them, according to the historical context, for a specific time. And the message of Islam, and this is believed and understood in the Muslim way, is the final revelation with the final messenger sent to all humanity, the Prophet Muhammad. And this is something that sometimes either is not known by other people who are not Muslims, or sometimes within Islam, some people tend to forget this. And it's clear that also the Quran, and I would like to finish with a quote from the Quran about sometimes the discrepancies, that different opinions and understanding, the Jews understand certain things certain way, Christians, Zoroastrians, Sabians, Muslims, all of these things. The Quran states the following, and I would like to end with this quote from the Quran, Surah number 5, verse 48, says the following: "Unto every one of you, religions, spiritual traditions, have we appointed a different way and methodology for each person, for each people. And if God had willed, He could surely have made you all one single community. But He will otherwise, in order to test you by means of what He has vouchsafed unto you. Compete then with one another in doing good works," not killing each other, but doing good works. "Unto God you all must return, and then He will make you truly understand all that on which you were wont to differ." All of the difference, and I understand this way or that way, at the end, the one who has all the truth and will explain and make it clear is God. And the Quran is clearly here stating with humility to understand that there are different ways in which God has revealed Himself to humanity. He has sent different prophets to specific peoples. And of course, like I emphasize again, in the Muslim understanding, then Islam is the final revelation to all humanity. But still, the other religion and the other monotheistic ways exist and are tolerated, and they are there because God allows it. And again, as the Quran says, the real knowledge of all truth, of what's in the heart, secret in the heart, and all the things that people debate, the different ways, at the end, He says, the Quran is clearly, He says, "Unto God you all must return, and then He will make you truly understand all that on which you were wont to differ." And within this context, we have the appearance of Islam as the culmination, the completion of the message, completeness, in this line of the monotheistic way. It's not a different religion that came out of nowhere. No, no, no. Islam is a continuation of the monotheistic way coming from Abraham. And in the same line that came the other prophets that were sent to other peoples. The same line that came the Jewish people, Judaism and Christianity. And Islam is the continuation, because in Islam, in the Quran, and the belief of all Muslims, they believe in the same prophets. Throughout, it's a line of many prophets, and with the Prophet Muhammad and the revelation of the Quran. And this is, I think it's important, because to understand this, to have a clear perspective, respecting other people's beliefs, respecting other ways, all within the context of the monotheistic way, could help us to achieve a dialogue between the three monotheistic religions, and with any religion in general, that we have our way of believing and understanding things. And even though we differ with people, they have different way of understanding things, still we respect people, because each human being has been created in the image of God, and we want them to respect us, so we should respect them too. So there must be a dialogue, an understanding. At the end, we are all following the monotheistic way. We are all following and striving to do good, to change the world into a better place. Each one following their own way. We have our understanding of things in which the way we think is right. Okay, like the text that the Quran says, okay, that's your belief, fine. Respect the way, because if God had willed so, He could have made everybody all the same. He said, no, no, no. He made different ways, different communities. And He said, it's a test. It's a test for you. See how you react. Do you hate some people just because they don't believe like you? Because they have different religions? Because they have different culture? Because they are a different race? Different social status? It's a test that the Quran is saying. He's testing the believer. If you are a true believer, He's testing you. And see how you react. How do you interact with your neighbor? Love your neighbor is not only loving the one who is like you. Meaning, it's also understanding he who is different. Because God made people different for His own way. He is the creator of everything. He has His own way why He made things certain ways. And it's a test that the Quran says. At the end, He will make things clear. For all the debates, He will make it clear. When everybody passes away, He will go on to His God. But whoever follows the way, whoever follows the Muslim way or the other ways, okay, that's up to them. It's up to the believer who believes in the oneness of God to make sure to live up to what is expected of him in his way, and to strive to do good, to follow always, and to maintain the unity of God, because in the division, then is when the evil is present. In the unity, we are more strong. People are different, but doesn't mean you have to hate people because they are different or they have different beliefs. No. The Quran says also, whoever God wants to guide, He will guide. Whoever God wants to not guide, okay. But you don't have to judge people or say or this, no. God rules His world according to His way. Just concentrate on your path. Aren't you busy enough to follow your own way? You have to start pointing, looking at people? No. Just concentrate on your own salvation. Work on yourself. Let everybody else work on themselves, because at the end everything is in God's hands, and God rules the world, and God guides the world according to His will. And at the end, God's will is the one that will be done. I want to thank you so much for your attention, and like I said, in the next videos we will continue explaining the connection between Islam and other monotheistic ways, mainly, as I said, in connection with Judaism and Christianity, and all within the path of the monotheistic way, tracing the roots back to the very beginning, to the father of the faith, the Prophet Abraham. Thank you so much, and we'll see each other in the next video.